32 teams, but just one champion a month from now. Let's get in the man on the ground, Chuck Culpepper, because Chuck, you're in Sochi, and while the World Cup's kicking off in Moscow, Sochi is where all the action is, all the drama is happening in Sochi. So what's the mood around Sochi, especially in the Spanish camp?
What has happened with Spain, which is so fascinating, you know, and certainly adds further allure to this event. You know, Spain becomes now kind of an experiment in a way. You know, what do managers mean? What does change mean? An all sports kind of experiment. So this is the best probably match of the weekend, even before they sack the manager. And so there's great anticipation here in a city that had an Olympics 4 years ago and that looks absolutely wonderful. So.
Yes, Sochi has a history of sport, doesn't it? Also hosted a World Chess Championship some time back, which had an Indian connect to it. But Chuck, what are the people around the Spanish team saying? The journalists, the players, the other people traveling around the team, are they saying this could significantly affect the morale?
Well, I think what you see in them mostly is kind of a, you know, I think they've all been stunned like the rest of us. I mean, I was talking to a few today, and they kind of laugh it off in a way, and a bit that they've been stunned. One thing, there's no real precedent that I can think of except a really odd American precedent. We make a whole big deal in the U.S. about our college basketball championship every March. You know, President Obama would pick his winners each year, and it's a big deal in our country. And there was a team in 1989 where the manager took another job on a Tuesday, just like this. They sacked him on Wednesday, and they started play on Friday. They were not expected to win that title, but they won the title unexpectedly. They were one of the top 12 teams or so. And one of the Spanish players tweeted about that yesterday, and I was shocked that anybody in Spain would know anything about this because, you know, in the U.S. college sports are big, but not in the world. So there is a precedent that can be cited, even as esoteric as it is.
Okay, but that's college football, and this is the World Cup. You know, purely from a coaching perspective, how will the players be affected, and how do they react to this?
Well, it's one of them. Obviously, there'll be players within that camp that are close to the coach, and it'll be sad for him to leave. There'll probably be one or two that will probably be happy that he's leaving. I know Cesc Fabregas tweeted, maybe I'll get a call up now. Yeah. I think when he went. But it's one of them. I think if the players get off to a good start, the momentum will carry him. I think the manager really comes into his own when there's a bit of adversity, maybe when there's a little bit of in-house quibbling. That's when you need a manager to sort that out. But I think it's all on the first game, really. Let them get a good start, and then I'm sure the quality in the squad will see them through.
Okay, here in India, a lot of fever around the World Cup, Chuck. So before I let you go, you'll obviously want to gear up for that opening game and watch it somewhere if you can. What's the mood in Russia? A lot of talk about how it's been a lukewarm response, especially around the national team.
You mean the general mood in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's you know, for me, it's odd to be in a country that's actually physically larger than the one I'm from. So you don't feel it as much because of that, you know, because of the size of it. But just on the planes getting here and so on, I think there's a kind of great spirit in the air.
Okay. Thank you for that update from Sochi.